Today, friends, I'm going to show you how I solved the Tinkercad Shape Challenge. So let's get cracking. Before I get going too far, I do want to say thanks so much to Robin for the original question on Facebook. Loved this idea, had fun making a tutorial. And then another highlight was CHEP of Filament Friday, actually featured how to solve it with code blocks. Make sure you check the cards above so you can see that video. I'm going to start this from my website, HLModTech.com. I've got a page dedicated to Tinkercad, and what I want to show you is the link under Useful Starters for the CAD Challenge 1. This is the project we're solving. If you want an intro, I mentioned that it is right down here. You can follow it with the bit.ly. This is something you could share with your students, where you're just asking them to create this design using the 4 different typical views. Now, one of my favorite things about Tinkercad is there are so many ways that you can solve this. I have seen a ton of fantastic submissions, including CHEP's, where he actually used code blocks. Now it's time for the spoiler alert. This is Tinkercad.com. It is 100% free, and it is the absolute easiest way to start learning CAD. And you can start designing by simply hitting Create 3D Design. I like to start by naming projects. I'm going to call this Cube MDH, and I'm going to put V2 because I've already made a few other designs. Now, if you've never used Tinkercad, I have got some day 1 tutorials. I'll put them in the bit.ly right here. You should really give them a go before you try to solve this. Now, the first step is I want to be able to see both things at once. So I'm going to use the awesome Chrome Add Tab to New Split View. Of course, all I need to do is click over here to have the shape challenge available. If you don't want to use the PDF, you can also use the bit.ly up above. Now you can take this and slide it to whatever size you want. I'm going to work from right here, and check this out. I'm going to simply build using Sketch. When we bring this tool out, it is 20 by 20, so I'm going to set it right at the center of the grid. I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to just build this shape. It's real easy for me to spot that it's 40, and then 20 and 20, and then 20, and then 60. So I can simply click right here and do the 40. Notice it shows me the dimension, 2 centimeters over, 2 centimeters up, or 20 millimeters and 20 millimeters. Move up here. Now notice I missed by 1. Check it out. No big deal. Once I'm done, I can double click, grab that point, and put it back where it's supposed to be. When I hit Finish Sketch, I have just built the bottom section. Now, if we look at the front view, we've got a part right here that's 10 millimeters by 30 millimeters. Here's how I'm going to build it. Control D, W for work plane, D for drop. Double click on that large shape, and then I'm going to simply grab it, and I'm going to make it into a rectangle. If I just take this and drag this line over to this spot right here, it is a rectangle. I can hit number 4 to delete this point right here. If I hit V, I can go back and just modify this so it fits exactly like it's supposed to. These snap. Notice if I hold down Shift, it forces it straight, which makes it even quicker. When I hit Finish Sketch, we have just built that part right there. Now from this same front view, I know I want to make this part right here. If I slide across, I can look at my perspective view and notice it does not go all the way to the back. Tinkercad normally does this from the top down, but check this out. W for work plane, and I'm going to put a sketch on this face. When I do this, I am looking at it from the front, but notice the grid doesn't line up. I can fix that by hitting Finish Sketch, and I can take this and hit D to drop so it's on the bottom. I would also like it to line up with this corner, so I'm going to simply select those two, choose L for align, make this one the boss, and I need it to come to that spot right there. I can even make this a little slicker by snapping it to the back of the project because that's where it's going to end up as well. I'm going to take this one and hide it so it's not in my view, and we can simply double click and edit that sketch. I'm going to zoom out so you can see it better, and I'm going to show you how we can build this with 0 holes. I've done a little bit of looking at this, and notice it is 3 by 3. Now it is full, but if I double click on this and I go to the stroke and I set the width to 10, because of the way this was built, bang, that gives us the hole where it's supposed to be. P for pen, start a new piece, and I just want to snap, 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 and snap. Of course, I missed by one. I can simply grab it and put it where it's supposed to be. Finish sketch, show all, and bang, we have just completed the sketch challenge. How cool is that? Just for fun, I'm going to click on our 3 parts and I'm going to make them different colors. Let's make that yellow. I'm going to make this one a dark blue, and I'm going to make this one a pink. 3 simple shapes to make one cool project. If you have not used this split, I will show you right here is how you close that view so you can go back to full screen. Notice when you're in a Tinkercad design, you do have to use the browser commands as the F11 does not work. Now I do want to highlight whatever way you built this was awesome. If you did it with these pieces and then you cut parts off, that is fantastic. If you do it with Sketch, that's cool as well. Of course, I was pretty pleased that I was able to do this without actually cutting out the hole. But any way you solve it is absolutely fantastic. If you want to show me what you built, I will show you quickly. You can move back to the Tinkercad desktop, click on your design and properties, fill in the name, make sure you give it a description. Of course, mine says the tutorial's coming soon. And then I want to highlight the tag HLMT23. If you add that and press enter, then make your design public, I will be able to check it out. Now, I would like other users to actually follow this, so I'm going to choose to make it no derivatives. I really want users to follow the tutorial to gain the skills. If you do want users to be able to play with your creations, leave them as share alike. Once you're done, simply hit Save Changes, and your project will eventually appear in the gallery. Now, when you click on this gallery, initially you get to see the staff pics. They are absolutely fantastic. Make sure you check them out and give a reaction. Of course, if you see one of mine, there is likely a tutorial, and the reactions are always appreciated. Right now, though, I'm going to back up. I'm going to shut off staff pics, and let's check out some of the latest posts. This one is by Tomato King. Absolutely awesome. Here is a wicked cool Dragon King by Sierra 3D Print Designer. I'm going to give that an awesome. Notice you can also click on it and view in 3D. This lets you check them out from every single angle. Finally, a weird spider robot by Galactic Goober Goose. Absolutely love it. And note this one is set to copy and tinker, so if you choose to, remember the golden rule of Tinkercad and give a reaction before you copy and tinker. Finally, let's zip over to the HLMT23 tag. Notice if you click this and press enter, it will take you to the tag. Initially, it sorts by relevance. Let's see if I gave this a reaction. Yes, I already had. This is a wicked cool sketch solution, very much similar to mine, except this user cut it out. There were no rules for how you solved it. Any which way was fantastic. I'm going to click on the X though, and I'm going to switch this to recent. This is the way you get to see all the latest designs, including our fun cube. There are thousands of designs shared here, and I absolutely love checking them out every single day. It always makes my day to see all the fantastic projects that users are taking a moment to share. If we scroll through these, if you've got time, friends, give them reactions. They are fantastic. But I want to highlight all of the awesome Shape Challenge shares. Of course, I can click on these and give them a reaction, but if you had a question or a comment, I've got a way that you can actually reach out to me. I have quickly bounced to my YouTube channel, and then we're going to click on the Visit Community option. Of course, the first thing I want you to notice are the top ones. These are shared by users. You can add comments down below. As you can see, I have already checked it out. This is by Fast Designs, and it was shared yesterday. I do want you to know to get out of those, you've got to use the back button on your browser. I have got a button on my mouse that allows me to do that, but you can also do Alt left arrow to go back with your keyboard. If you click on newest, that'll show you the latest things that have been shared. And then finally, if you click on my post, those are the things that I've created. And the one I want to highlight is the huge shout out to everybody that has participated. Here's how you can find the video. Don't forget, of course, you can hit read more. This is how you can see all the ones that had been shared to that date. And then also in the comments, this is where you can ask me questions or tell me a little bit about how you created yours. Once again, Alt left arrow is how you back out of that tab and check out the other things I've shared. As I wrap up, of course, I want to say thanks again to Robin for starting the project and every single one of you that have joined in so far. I also want to give a shout out to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Of course, make sure you also pay attention to those members only posts. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. We are past 400 members. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe, you're helping HLModTech get just a little bit bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day and keep tinkering.